Well, good evening. It is Monday, October 27th. We are at the end of October. Thanks for being here. My name is Jackie Baker. This is our live dose of real estate reality. I'm a realtor here in Northern New Jersey. We talk about all things housing market, all that fun stuff. So this week's topic, 15% of purchase contracts were canceled in September. What's going on? So anyway, we're going to talk about that tonight, and let me pull up the rest of the show. Welcome to the show. So the house rules: if you have a question, please put QQQ at the beginning of your question, so we can identify your question easier. I want to know about your housing wins. Please share the housing wins. If you went under contract, you closed on a home, whatever. Go, let me know. I want to know. We want to celebrate the wins. Okay. People are stressed out about buying a house and they feel like that's not possible. People are achieving this goal. So let's celebrate it. I do have a poll tonight. Did you check it out? It's related to the topic at hand. Hold on one second. It is, if you were to back out of a home, out of a home purchase, my computer is not cooperating with me. But anyway, the poll there is, if you are to back out of a home purchase, what is the main reason? Home inspection, appraisal issues, buyer's remorse. I cannot pull up my stupid chat. There it is. Okay. Anyway, you see it. I can't pull it up. I don't know why. There it is. Financing issues, buyer's remorse. Or a low appraisal. So chime in on the poll. Please don't forget about that. We're also going to talk about Fannie Mae is now predicting a mortgage rate shift that's going to happen. The Fed is meeting soon again. They're talking about lowering the federal funds rate again. So we're going to talk about that. Warren Buffett even says that rates can't fall enough for homes to be affordable. So we're going to weigh in on that one. And also, we're going to talk about which state has the largest home value growth in 2025. I want to know. Take a guess. All right. So when we get to that part, I want to hear what your guesses are. What state has the highest, largest home value growth in this year? All right. So anyway, you guys, thank you. Oh, I see a lot of the same people. I love it. Love when you guys come back in. Anyway. So let's get started, shall we? By the way, I'm talking coming to you live from a different camera tonight. My regular camera, it's kind of on the end, at the end of its life. So I'm using my camera on my computer. So bear with tonight. It's time for Jackie to get a new camera. So maybe Santa Claus will bring me one this year. Let's see. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay, here's the deal, guys. Okay, sellers are getting ghosted. 15% of home buying contracts were canceled in September. What? Yes. Okay, let me just make sure this is bigger. Okay. Housing costs are frightful and economic jitters are in the air, leading some buyers to leave sellers in the lurch. Just over 53,000 home purchase agreements nationwide were canceled in September, equal to 15% of homes that went under contract that month. That's up from 13.6% a year earlier. Let me see. Okay. This is based on a Redfin analysis of MLS pending sales data. The data is seasonal, which is why we compare this September to past Septembers. Please note that homes that fell out of contract during a given month didn't necessarily go under contract the same month. For example, a home that fell out of contract in September could have gone under contract in August. Okay, so they just want to make that stipulation. So home buyers are ghosting sellers at a higher rate in some parts of the country, mostly in Florida and Texas. In Tampa, which had September's highest cancellation rate, 20.1% of home purchase agreements were canceled, up from 17.7% a year earlier. Next comes San Antonio, where 19% of deals were called off, up from 16.8%. We've seen a trend here, guys. Look at this. Fort Worth, Dallas, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and Jacksonville are also among the metros where cancellations were most common in September. Okay, so top 10 metro areas where home buyers are ghosting sellers. Tampa, San Antonio, Atlanta. Hope Clark's coming on tonight. I want to talk about that. I want to see. I'm sure he's seeing it. Orlando, Florida, Fort Worth, Riverside, California, Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville, Dallas, Las Vegas. So it's the usual suspects, guys. The usual markets. This is what we've been seeing all year. These markets, they're in buyers markets. They've been in buyers markets for many months now, and now this is where they're getting. Now they're getting all these cancellations. Now, why? Why are they canceling them? Buyers are ghosting sellers at a fairly high rate nationwide, mainly because each party has different expectations for the deal and aren't willing to compromise. That's especially true when it comes to concessions and repairs, leading to a growing number of deals falling through. In a market where home prices and mortgage rates are high and competition is low, buyers want the home they buy to be perfect. Sellers, for their part, want to get the price they have in mind and avoid losing money on the deal. Some sellers who bought during the pandemic may also need to sell their home for a certain price to avoid taking a loss and are unwilling to negotiate. I'm seeing a lot of buyer's remorse, said Joe Chavez, a Redfin Premier agent in Kansas City. Buyers make an offer, then they start worrying they could have found a better deal or a better home because there are more home sellers than buyers in the market. Some other buyers are backing out because they're concerned about job security. Buyers are retreating from the Sun Belt specifically because many metros in that part of the country are less appealing than they once were. The region became a migration hotspot in 2021 and 22 for its relative affordability and warm weather, with cities like Tampa and Las Vegas leading the charge. But that boom sent prices soaring. Now, when paired with growing climate risks, HOA fees, and insurance premiums, more would-be buyers in places like coastal Florida are holding off altogether. Sunbelt states are also building more homes than anywhere else, prompting buyers to back out because they're confident they'll be able to find something else. Economic uncertainty is playing a role too. Most contracts that fall through do so during the inspection period. When neither side is willing to compromise, negotiations on home purchase agreements often break down before closing, typically during the inspection period. Redfin agents said in a survey more than 70% of the deals that fall through do so during the inspection. In a buyer's market, it's a buyer's market in most of the U.S., so those who are still in the market know they have leverage. It's common to be choosier and ask for repairs, price reductions, and other concessions. When sellers push back, or when inspections reveal new issues, many buyers are walking away. A lot of today's buyers are also eyeing homes at lower prices, which are more likely to have inspection issues. Now, the areas where home buyers are least likely to get spooked, we have San Francisco, Long Island, New York, and San Jose had the lowest shares of contract cancellations in September, under 7% each. Other expensive cities, including Seattle, New York, and Boston, are also among the 10 metros where ghosting is least common. That is true. Here we go again, the Northeast. Why? Because there's not enough homes for sale and people don't want to miss out on losing the home. So they're forging ahead. They're not canceling. And I will tell you, let me stop sharing this for a second. So I want to see you guys. Anyway, what I've been seeing here in Jersey, I cover here northern New Jersey, sellers they're willing to give concessions. They're willing to work with the buyers now. They are. Again, because we have limited inventory here, the buyers are nervous. They don't want to be they don't want to be without a house. And if the sellers are moving on to something else and they're staying in this area and they're having a hard time finding a house, they don't want to lose out on that. So that's when the negotiations happen. So when you're in a market like in the Sun Belt and you have like a million homes you can choose from, buyers are like, the heck with it. I'll go. I don't care. I'll cancel this. I'll find something else. So word to the wise, those people living in those states, those Sun Belt states, make sure, number one, you price your home correctly. Number two, the first thing you should do, get a pre-listing home inspection. It's so worth the money. So you can identify whatever problems that you have in the home and fix them before it goes on the market. Then when you go on the market, make sure it's priced correctly. So we have a lot of comments and questions. I love this. Blue Jeans 94. In the old days, people used to actually worry about losing their good faith money. Now realtors say, don't worry, it won't happen. No wonder people are canceling for no reason. You're not wrong. Listen, what we do here in Jersey, like, yeah, if you're in breach of contract, if it's a serious breach of contract where, buyer's walking away for no reason, they can lose their deposit for sure. But when it comes to, like, the inspection stuff, if they wanna walk away, yeah, they get their money back. If it's legitimate, they can't come to meeting of the minds and address the issues, that's fine. They'll definitely get their money back. Hello, Miss Age. People can afford to purchase because of prices and rates, can't hold on to jobs to be able to make the payments. Makes them stand off and wanna wait. Thoughts? Um, Listen, I am reading a lot of that where people are holding off. They wanna wait and see what happens. There's a lot of uncertainty still going on right now. We still have this government shutdown that's happening. People are getting laid off. Still a lot of layoffs going on. There's a lot of economic uncertainty. So I agree with you, Miss H. I think people are just there's a standoff. They want to wait. Chris Barr, good evening from Boise, Idaho. Wow. All right. What's your opinion or thought on giving a flooring allowance when selling? I think it's a great idea. If the floors are in that bad a shape and you just can't you can't do it for whatever reason, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. Or adjust the price to accommodate for what it would cost to redo the flooring. I think it's a great idea. I've none of your business. I've had 0 sales in October so far. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know. Listen, real estate's been tough this year. Even though, hold on. I mean, look, a lot of experts are saying that 2025 has been a better market because it's shifting to become more of a balanced market. We're still feeling the pain. Still feeling it. We kind of have to go through this little transition period, and it's a little bit of a bumpy road. I'm not going to lie. It is. Chris, my housing win. We sold my mom's house in a 55 and over subdivision, closed in the middle of November. Congratulations. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome. So what else do we got, Jen? Any other questions? Vale Creek Cottage. Hello. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Jivan, thank you for joining. Oh my God, how's life in South Korea? That's so cool that you're watching from South Korea. Freaking love that. Love it, love it, love it. None of your business. I can't believe New Jersey, New York are hot markets based on the number of people from those states that I sell homes to in North Carolina. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's getting better. It's getting better, but it's still pretty expensive. It really is. Okay, so hello, Clark. So Clark, did you hear what I said in the beginning? Atlanta has a high number of cancellations. Are you seeing that? I think you've mentioned. I think Mark has been shifting for you for a while. So feel free to chime in. Okay. I think that's what we got right now. Oh, Jivan, I have a total of 500,000 for a cash offer. How much should I spend on a house? I can't tell you that. I don't know what your financial situation is. What can you afford? And even though you have 500,000 for a cash offer, you may not want to spend that whole 500,000. Maybe you like take half of that, or maybe 300,000 to put down and finance the rest of it. I would talk to a lender and see what the mortgage payments would be if you put a hefty down payment down. That's what I would do. That is me. Okay. Clark says, yes, the market is shifting here. Home inspections are making people back out. Some people's financing are falling through, and some sellers can't negotiate because no equity, so buyers are walking. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, like the article said, like people who bought in 21 and 22, they're trying to recoup. They want to get the same price what they paid for a few years ago, and that's just not happening. And that's unfortunate. Cackleberry Cottage, how are you? If we sell our house to a local real estate investor, do we have to pay commission or just closing costs? If you don't have a real estate agent representing either of you, no, you don't have to pay anything. Just maybe hire a real estate attorney. Just make sure you're not getting the wool pulled over your eyes. and they're not going to screw around with you on the sale. That's what I would do. Get some type of representation. Okay. Hold on, guys. So let's move on. So as I said in the beginning, where are we? Fannie Mae is predicting a major mortgage rate shift. And I also want to share with you what I learned at our annual Realtor Association meeting last week. It was very interesting. So this is from the street. There's saying Fannie Mae, this is probably really small for you guys to read. Fannie Mae forecasts mortgage rates to change significantly by the end of 2026. The Federal Reserve cut rate cuts amid persistent inflation and housing market slowdown in 24 and 25. Home sales price growth and GDP outlooks were slightly revised upward. CPI forecast remain modest. Okay. Okay, to fully understand the current state of the U.S. housing market, it's essential to consider several major economic developments over the past few years. In 2022, inflation surged dramatically, prompting the Federal Reserve to raise federal funds rate in an effort to curb consumer spending by making loans and credit more costly. This assertive monetary strategy aimed to bring inflation down from its peak of 9% towards the Fed's long-standing target of 2%. By late 24, inflation had gradually eased, leading the Fed to pivot and begin reducing interest rates. However, contrary to widespread predictions that mortgage rates would dip below 6% in response, they instead rebounded, climbing back towards 7%. Ongoing economic uncertainty, erratic market behavior, and lingering inflationary forces have kept mortgage rates elevated. This has cooled the housing market, discouraging both prospective buyers and homeowners making moves. On September 17th, the Federal Reserve enacted a quarter-point cut to the federal funds rate, adjusting it from a 4.2545 range down to 4.25. This is the first decrease since December of 24, driven by mounting concerns about softening job numbers and persistent inflation. Given this backdrop, government-sponsored enterprise Fannie Mae reports on a change coming soon for mortgage rates and other key data points. Fannie Mae forecasts mortgage rate drop. Fannie Mae's Economic and Strategic Research Group, led by Senior Vice President and Chief Economist Mark Palin, delivers data-driven insights aimed at helping to guide decision makers in the housing and mortgage sectors. In its October 2025 Economic and Housing Outlook, Fannie Mae included a change in its mortgage rate prediction for 25 that is likely to be welcomed as good news for people looking to buy and sell homes. We forecast mortgage rates to end 2025 and 2026 at 6.3% and 5.9% respectively, compared to 6.4 and 5.9% in our prior forecast. Total home sales outlook for 25 was revised to 4.74 million, up from 4.72 million previously. Our 2026 home sales projection is 5.16 million, unchanged from prior forecast. So they're predicting rates are going to get below 6%, 5.9. Now, I want to tell you what I heard last Thursday. We had, like I said, I attended our annual Realtor Association meeting, and I don't know if you guys remember this guy, Logan Mohtashami. Logan Mohtashami is with Housing Wire. He's their economist, and he's on all the news outlets. I've cited some of his stuff here on my live stream. The guy's brilliant. They call him Chart Daddy because he's all about the charts and the graphs. So Logan said last Thursday at our meeting that rates are definitely going to be in the 5% range next year. So he's the one that's been saying, where he said this on Thursday, that 2025 was definitely, this is the year that we've come to more of a balanced market. It's, it still hasn't really hit that much here in the Northeast, but it's coming. It's going to shift. So, we all welcome that, because we know how tough affordability is, and the rates coming down. I know people are saying, oh, the rates don't mean anything. It's the prices, but the prices will adjust to that, because the more homes you have on the market. So think about it. If you have lower interest rates and sellers who've been sitting on the fence like forever because they don't want to spend, 6-7% on interest rate when they're sitting on 3% or 4%, 5% is the magic number. This is what a lot of people are saying. That's going to make them move. So what happens when you have more inventory? You have to be more competitive with your price. This is what we're seeing in the South right now and in the Sun Belt. This is why people are backing out of deals, because there's more homes to choose from. So everybody's got to get real with their pricing. So, and even you're up here in the North, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, I'm still seeing homes go for over asking, but it's not as like it was. So I was doing an analysis today. I'm meeting with the seller tomorrow, and I was trying to get a price for their home. And I was looking at the data for the last 3 months, and yeah, some homes did sell for over list, but the most I saw was like 50,000 over. I'm like, wow. But on average, I was looking at like 10 to 20,000 over list, and there were plenty that just sold at list price. So it's definitely changing, guys. Hey, Stacy, how are you? I read where historical neighborhoods in Casey have homes on the market under 5 days. It's worth the prestige to pay higher interest and not negotiate for many people. Crazy. Yeah. Average 2 to 5 days. Wow. That is crazy. Hi, Laura. How are you? What are your thoughts on no hurricanes hit Florida, specifically the northern coast, on sales possibly picking up? Do you hear of any interested buyers? I have not. I will tell you, I know a lot of people are still looking to get out of Florida just because of how expensive it's gotten. You know, that's what I see when I'm on the interwebs every day. More people want to leave there. The fact that there's no hurricanes have hit this year, I think that's a miracle. I don't know if that's going to be next year. I think we're having a good year, having a good weather pattern as far as hurricanes go. David, if the economy is in recession, 5% might not help many. It might not, but we'll see. We'll see if we even get there. Christian, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, we'll see. You never know. Miss H, that's going to cause a mortgage frenzy in the market. Than buying, we'll get more to buy, hopefully. Yeah. So, Miss H, so like I just said, that lower rate is enough to move the needle to get the sellers to want to put their home on the market. I mean, my interest rate, I think I'm at 3.75, and I bought this house 13 years ago. So, if I had to sell and move on to something else, say my interest rate was going to be 5, but if I'm putting a large amount of money down because I have a lot of equity in this house, that payment isn't going to be that bad because I'm going to have a lot of money to put down on it. So the people at lower rates and the rate may hit 5, how is that going to help them? It's going to be a lower monthly payment, right? But it's all about the economics, Miss H. You gotta, like I just said, if we have more homes enter the market, there's more competition, which means sellers have to get real about the prices. They're not going to be getting over ask. If they do, it's minimal. It's not going to be a lot. Ranger X3X bought a home in Florida 2 years ago with the property tax elimination proposal supported by the governor. Things are going to get better. I'm keep my eye on that one. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out if they eliminate property taxes. Because my big question is, where are they going to get the funds to pay for running their police, the fire, all like schools, all that stuff? Anyway, the builder I work for is offering low interest rates that are bought down through a forward commitment. We offer a 3.5 30-year fixed rate, a 2.9921 ARM, etc. Yeah. So builders are still doing this. They're still offering these great, rate buy downs to sell off the inventory. That's a big thing down south. We got a housing win. Sold 3 weeks ago. Within 2 weeks, home inspection just passed here in Indiana. Learned a lot on what and what not to do from you and your guests. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yay. Congratulations. That makes me feel so good. When people win a house or they have a big housing win because they've been watching me, little old me, because that's the whole point of this. Just want to educate. Clark says, I did a market analysis for an investor looking to rent her property in Atlanta, and she thought she would get more than she expected, but rental prices have been going down. for SF single family rentals because these institutional investors are dropping the rental properties prices quick to get people. Yeah. Uh, you know what, Clark, I'm in hearing that too. The rentals up here in Jersey, they're coming down too. And we don't have like institutional investors. At least that's what I've been told. But like we have a lot of these apartment buildings that are going up. And some of these luxury, so okay, I'm all over the place, but I got to share this with you guys. This is outrageous. I was working an open house at one of our listings yesterday. It was in this townhome complex in an area that's like booming like crazy. And across the street from where this community is located, it was a brand new apartment building, luxury apartments. I believe it's called the Reserve. Is it the Reserves? I think so. I must have had I had 3 groups that came through the open house that were currently renting in this apartment building. Guess how much money they're paying in rent for a 2-bedroom. Now, the first group that came through, they got in early when the building first opened a year ago, so they locked in at a lower rent. A 2-bedroom, $4,000 a month. And they just got notice when their lease is up in 6 months, it's going to increase to $5,000 a month. I also heard that a 3-bedroom apartment in this building is renting toward upwards to $7,000. That's like, just go buy something and that's your mortgage payment and you can write that interest off. I could not believe it, but so many of these apartment buildings are popping up here in northern Jersey, all over Jersey, but particularly northern Jersey. And it's, people who are downsizing, a lot of them, that's who's renting these places. They have the cash to do it. That kills me. That kills me. I would never spend that kind of money. Should we buy now in Florida or wait? That is up to you. It's all about your timing. If you're nervous about what's going on in the market there, I mean, there's one piece of advice I always give: do never time the market. Absolutely, do never do that. Don't time it. If the timing is right for you, then that's your time to buy. So, if I were selling, I would think an allowance or concession would be easier than dealing with the hassle of fixing something and coordinating all that is involved. A lot of sellers feel that way, and it does make sense to do that. I mean, honestly, that's what I would do. I would just throw a credit or concession at it and be done with it. Because here's the thing: the buyers are going to want to do the work themselves a lot of the times. The sellers, if sellers do make the repairs, and I've had a lot of sellers that have done it, they just went ahead and repaired it themselves. You just have to provide the proof of what you did, that it was done by a licensed contractor, a licensed electrician, whatever. The problem is buyers sometimes want things done their way. So rather than just bring somebody in, just let them deal with it. Let the buyer deal with it then. Is that apartment building in a special place no one can afford ever? That crazy with the price? Yeah. Oh, people can pay it, Miss H. You'd be surprised. But so the people that came in and said they were paying $4,000 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment, they realized they're better off buying a townhome, because that was the open house I was hosting. It was in a townhome. They realized when they did the math, for a little bit more, they could be paying a mortgage and own a piece of property, and it'd be theirs. So it's insane. JM, how are you? Haven't been on a stream in a while. Life gets in the way. I hear you. Need to stall on buying until next spring. Hopefully buyer's market by then. I'll keep watching. Thank you, JM. I appreciate it. Always keep watching, because you never know. You never know what I'm going to share on this show. So let's talk about Warren Buffett. Just came out and was speaking of interest rates. Now, Warren Buffett feels that rates will not get low enough for people to be able to afford a home. And Zillow is in agreement with him. Yeah, go figure, Zillow. Okay, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway and Zillow say mortgage rates can't fall enough for Americans to afford a home. Mortgage rates have remained stubbornly high, hovering at more than 6%, well above the sub 3% rates during the pandemic. That makes homeownership increasingly unaffordable for many Americans, as home prices have risen more than 50% since 2020. During the pandemic, home buyers got accustomed to sub 3% mortgage rates, which made purchasing a home feel more achievable. All right. What's your reason here, Mr. Buffett? Here, well, hold on one second. Okay. He says here, Warren Buffett also said that in early July report, mortgage rates are one of the main deterrents for both home buyers and sellers. This is what I've been just saying. Many homeowners are reluctant to put their home on the market and give up the low mortgage rates they already have. To them, high price gains won't mitigate their ability to pay more for another home at significantly higher interest rates. This issue, also referred to as the golden handcuffs or the locked-in mortgage rate effect. The idea is that current homeowners have no incentive to put their homes on the market, even if they want to move, because they'd forego a much lower mortgage rate. This causes a litany of other problems in the housing market, namely inventory. The home builder unsold completed inventory recently hit a 16-year high, according to Resi Club. And what else? Okay. Data from real estate intelligence platform Parcel Lab shows the number of active listings on the market this summer rose to 3.06 million, a 4.9% increase from the same time last year. More sellers delisting their properties after sitting on the market for longer than expected. Homes are sitting on the market nearly 3 weeks longer than last year. That's a sign of sellers still anchored to pandemic-era prices, even though the market is telling them otherwise. What else? All right. Some first-time buyers are turning to long-term renting or even co-living models because the idea of owning a home has become so out of reach. Others are relying more on family support to get into the market. We're seeing a reshaping of the housing ladder. The small glimmer of hope, though, is that home price growth appears to be slowing. According to Kay Schiller, with affordability still stretched and inventory constrained, national home prices are holding steady, but barely. Okay, so Warren and I are on the same page. So he's saying the same thing. The rates are holding back the sellers, therefore keeping inventory down. So this is why we still have an inventory issue. Like I just said, it's all a matter of economics. Okay, so once you get those homes on the market, you have to be more competitive with your pricing. Therefore, the prices could come down. Are they going to come down 20%, 25%? No, they're not. But if there's an ease in pricing or there's not as much growth in pricing and the mortgage rates are lower, a little more tolerable, it could make it a little bit more affordable. All right. I just learned about construction to permanent loan. Have you heard about it? My realtor recommended it and we're moving forward with it. I'm going to look that up right now. Thank you so much for sharing that, because construction to permanent loan. What are you? Okay, this is known as a single close loan. Finances both the building of a new home and its permanent mortgage in a single loan. This differs from a construction only loan, which requires separate mortgage to be taken out after the home is built. The process is broken down in 2 phases. Construction phase, the lender releases funds in installments known as draws to pay for the land, materials, labor, construction. Post-construction phase, after the home is completed, the loan automatically converts into a traditional mortgage. Then you begin making monthly payments that cover both principal and interest. That's really flipping cool. That's really cool. The only thing they say, you do have higher interest rates on those and it's stricter requirements. But that's pretty cool, guys. I think that's really good. Thanks for sharing that. Well, hello, B. Perez from Winter Haven. How is life in Florida? Problem with home builders is that they're building cardboard homes, poor quality. Yeah, tell me about it. I know. I read about it all the time. Jackie, are you and the other realtors on a set rate when you get your part of either buyer or sales, or do you all negotiate with each other on how that will go? How do you get paid fairly for your work? That's such an excellent question. So it's all negotiable, right? Commissions are always negotiable. That's always been the case. So that's something, if I go to list a home and somebody wants to hire me, I work out that rate with the seller, right? And if I'm representing a buyer, what we have to do now is we have the buyer agency agreement. And at that point, it's where myself and my buyer client, we will determine we will talk about what that commission would be if the situation arises where the seller is not willing to pay the buyer agency commission. Okay. So again, that number is completely negotiable, and that's worked out. It's worked out between the realtors and their clients, whether it be the seller or the buyer. So that's how we get paid. Thank you for asking that. But if the rates never go back to those historic lows and the sellers keep waiting, their home prices drop. They lose either. Well, listen, you'd be surprised. There's a lot. They're not going to drop a lot, but these people, think about that. What that article just said, home prices risen nearly by 50% since 2020. So there's a ton of equity in people's homes. Unless you bought in 2020, 21, and 22, you might be a little bit of trouble. But if you've owned your home for a while, you have plenty of equity. So you'll be walking away with a good chunk of change. Mary Beth, I agree with him. Prices of homes are way too high. So long middle class. My kids can't even afford the taxes if I leave my homes for them. Mary Beth, that this is a worry of mine all the time. How the heck are my kids going to afford a house? I don't know. I tell them just put some money away now. Start saving. I don't know how they're going to do it. The rent is just ridiculous here too. Historically speaking, the norm is 6 to 7%. You mean, yeah, so price reduction, right? You're saying 6 to 7% in reduction in price? That makes sense. Chris Barr says, bought in 2000, we have a bit of equity. Good. Yep. All right, so, okay. Which state do you guys think had the highest home value appreciation? Which state had the highest? Yeah, hello. I can't talk today. Tell me. Nope. It's not New Jersey. Nope. Which state had the highest value, home value rise in 2025? My guess is Boise. I know our house appreciated 4 times when we bought 26 years ago. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Hold on. Where'd you go? Like that. Wyoming. Wyoming tops the nation in home value growth this year. Look at that. Wyoming's housing market has experienced a remarkable surge in 2025, outpacing all of the U.S. states in home value appreciation. According to the recent data, the average home value in Wyoming stands at $360,352, reflecting a 4.6% increase over the past year. This growth rate positions Wyoming among the top performers nationally, with some regions within the state seeing even higher gains. Do you believe? Isn't that crazy? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Wyoming. So good guesses, guys, but didn't win it. Close, but no cigar. All right, let's stop sharing you. New York, Ohio, Cali, Massachusetts. Yep, nope. The Yellowstone effect. That's right. That's right. But I mean, even though Yellowstone's not on anymore, and I'm really not happy about that because that was one of my favorite shows. So I have another thing I want to share with you. I came across this article on Market Watch. I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. I thought it was like a little, almost like a Dear Abby column. That's what it reminded me of. So this person's asking a question. I'm struggling to buy a house. Should I settle for one with a bus stop right outside? So here, listen to this, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. All right, buses come by every 5 to 10 minutes during the day. All right. So dear Big Move, this is the author's response. After struggling, no. This is the guy. This is the person buying the house. After struggling to buy a house for years, we finally come across one that we really like. It's in a good area and has a decent price. The only problem is that it's got a bus stop directly in front. It's not a main highway, but buses still come every 5 to 10 minutes during the day. And it doesn't seem like a lot of people get on the bus at the stop. I'm wondering whether the bus stop will be seen as a negative. Will it be noisy? Will we lose privacy? Will people waiting at the bus be a problem for me? And will the home's resale value be impacted? Should we buy the house by the bus stop or keep looking? Signed, Wheels on the Bus. So this is really I want to know what you guys think about this, but this is his response. It really depends on the type of area you live in and if you're buying a single family home or an apartment in a building. If it's a single family home with a city bus stop right in front of it, go back at various times during the day, particularly during the commuter rush hour, to see how it impacts your prospective house, if at all. Those visits may be the difference between saying, it's just a pleasant part of the neighborhood, or realizing, hell no, that bus stop is a magnet for trouble. It's a non-issue if you live in a big city where people are used to taking buses. In cities like Brooklyn or even Washington, D.C., having a bus stop is actually a good thing. I used to have a bus stop right outside my apartment complex growing up in Singapore, and it took me 2 minutes to get from my parents' apartment to the bus stop. That was a luxury. But if you live in a small city where people aren't regular bus riders, will people be milling about all hours of the day waiting for the bus? If there is there a risk of people crowding the bus stop and spilling into your front yard? Consider the layout of the house and the bus stop and see if it's a future risk of trespassing, even if it's unintentional. Trash is another issue. So, what do you guys think about this? I don't know. What the advice he gave, I thought that was perfect, because I would have done the same thing. Go back and visit that bus stop different times a day, see what kind of activity is going on, how busy is it getting. But here in North Jersey, because we have a lot of people that commute to New York City, a bus stop that's close proximity to a house, that's a big win. People want to be able to especially people coming from the city when they move out here, they're so used to walking to the bus stop. If they could walk to their bus stop to commute into the city, that's a big win. MH says, I lived on a corner with 2 bus stops, one north-south, the other east-west. Without a car, it was the best. You see? Eric says, just sold the house with a bus stop across the street. They just removed the stop, and I'm glad I don't live there anymore. Okay. Buy it, then advocate to move the bus stop. Okay. B Prez has a good answer. Keep looking. Interesting. Wow. Keep looking. Another will come along. So again, like what the guy said, it all depends on where it is. Are you in a big city? Is it in a smaller city where they're not as desirable? But like here in Jersey, in North Jersey, that's a win. Because a lot of times, there's bus stops here. New Jersey Transit runs like oh my God, it seems like every mile or so, every couple of miles, there's always a stop along the main roads. As a matter of fact, the house I sold in Ridgewood earlier this year had a bus stop. God, it was really close, maybe like a few hundred feet away. And that was a big selling point. Big selling point. Everybody loves that. Just again, because especially the city people, they're used to walking everywhere. So that's why. Anastasia, how are you? Welcome back. We're in the process of buying a house in Cherry Hill for $560. The price is already reduced by $20,000. The house was built in the 1960s. During inspection, we discovered a step crack in the foundation, signs of termite activity, high radon levels, and roof damage. My computer's a little loud. Sorry about that. Most likely roof damage caused by solar panel installation about 10 years ago. Solar company has since gone bankrupt and isn't willing to fix the damage. The sellers only offered a $5,000 credit. I'd go back and ask for more. I would go back and ask for more. If they're not going to budge on that, I'd walk. If you think about that. You got foundation. So Anastasia, is it active termites, or is it just it's just termite damage because they had termites and they treated it? You want to make sure there's no structure problems, but the fact that they got step cracks in the foundation, 5,000, I mean, that's my opinion. Talk to your real estate agent, talk to your lawyer. Try to ask for more than that. I mean, a dollar amount, I can't say, but if you wanna I would have that conversation with your attorney and your agent, but if they're not gonna give you more than that, I would walk. No way. Yep, Clark says I would walk. It is it's active? No. No, look, they'll have to treat it regardless. If you're getting a mortgage, and if there is termite activity, they need to prove, get a certificate and prove that it's been treated, but God only knows how long that's been going on. You don't know what's going on. Listen, I've seen some houses with some pretty severe termite damage, and that's something you don't wanna be stuck with. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I'd walk away, honestly. That's no. Amanda, how are you? Closed on a condo in May when the market in Westchester County was red hot. Bought a 3-bedroom ranch-style condo in 55 plus. No softening market here. Ranch homes in 55 flying off the market still. I'm not surprised. So you're in Westchester County. So talking before about like people moving to Florida, like everyone from New Jersey is heading to Florida, that's not the case anymore. We're seeing more of a trend where people are staying up here in the Northeast to be closer to their kids. So ranch homes, absolutely. When people are downsizing, they want the one level. And I see it here in Jersey all the time. The boomers are quick to scap up those ranch houses. So I'm not surprised. Hey, Candy, what's going on? We bought a house with a bowed foundation wall. It cost us $5,000 to fix it, and that was about 20 years ago. You know what that's going to cost now? A lot more than 5,000. A lot more. Anytime I hear stuff with foundation, and if a structure engineer comes in and says, "You know what? This is going to be a problem. You're going to have all these issues." I'm not a fan of that at all. It's so expensive to repair that. And then down the road, when you go to sell it, you're gonna have to disclose that repair. You gotta let the next buyer know what you did. I mean, yeah, it's great, it's fixed, but I don't know. Yeah. Are we missing anybody, Jen? No, we're good. Gravy and Grit, you're from Tennessee? I like that handle. I never had a problem with any realtors splitting the money. I didn't go without a realtor, no matter buying or selling. Worth to be advised and guided throughout the process. Laura, thank you for saying that. But just look, you got to make sure you align yourself with a great agent. And I can't tell you how frustrated I get when I see really crappy agents pulling shady stuff to get deals done. Listen, if realtors are watching this, I don't care if you're going to hate what I'm saying. I'm making you mad, but the truth is, a lot of these top producers, they do some really crappy things, some shady things, unethical things to get a deal done. And am I a top producer? I mean, I was a top producer a few years ago in my office, like not, wasn't like this big wig in all of Bergen County or North Jersey, but I don't want to do that. I want to focus, like really give all my attention to my clients and make sure that they're getting a good house, they're getting a good deal, or even the sellers, like it's such an emotional process. And I want to be there for them to really guide them through it, and not just move on to the next transaction. Heck no. I don't want to do that. So that's just listen. Again, no shade to the top producers. I mean, not saying all top producers behave that way, but a lot of you do. You're all about the transaction, and we need to get back to servicing the client. There, I said it. Okay. Okay. Chris, what's an estimate for a pre-evaluation for a home? So a pre-inspection, like a pre-listing inspection, depending on where you are in the country. So you're in Idaho. I'm not sure what inspectors charge, but here in Jersey, they can run anywhere depending on what level of inspections you're getting, meaning that you do a general home inspection. And if you want to do an oil tank sweep, you want to do a sewer scope, it can run anywhere between total $500 up to $1,000. And I totally recommend anybody Like, if you're gonna sell your house, definitely do that. Realtors are like any other profession. Some are better than others. You're darn right. You're darn right. Me too, Jackie. I don't like it. See, Clark gets it. Clark's a 20% agent. He knows. He gets it. Speak. Oh, I'm preaching, Clark. I'm preaching tonight. But seriously, like, mm, I'll get into it in a minute. Chris, we're moving the spring and summer, already working on a house. Good. Good, good, good. That's another piece of advice I'll give people. If you're putting your house on the market in the spring, start cleaning it out now. Start the prep work now. It's going to take you a while. It's daunting as heck. If you got to make some repairs, it's going to take time to get a contractor in there to do the whatever necessary repairs you want to do. But the packing and the purging alone, it's it's a lot. It's a lot. So give yourself plenty of time. So Chris, good for you that you're doing that. I bought in 2018. I have a 2.5 fixed rate and 15-year loan. The value of my home has gone up $250,000 in that time, according to the county. Good Lord. Good for you. God, in 7 years, you went up 250,000. Oh, yeah. That's a lot. Why do agents receive percentage-based commission on each sale if they bear no risk whatsoever? Why do we? Well, we don't get paid at all. We're not salaried or anything. We are 100% commission-based, right? So, yeah, I mean, if we don't get it, and think about it. If I'm a listing agent on a house, do you know how much money I lay out of pocket for the marketing? It's not cheap. It's not cheap. Depends on, what type of marketing I'm doing, the kind of house that it is. I mean, I'm spending upwards, over $1,000 right out of the gate. So if that house doesn't sell, or the seller doesn't, changes their mind, say, forget it, I don't want to sell, I'm out that money. So yeah, I mean, we backed out 5 years ago because the inspection revealed lots of structural issues due to DIY work by the prior owner. It would have eaten up our whole remodel budget to remedy. Very smart move. And also be careful of DIY work. Another thing I recommend, when you're purchasing a home, have either you can do it, your realtor or the attorney, go to the town building department where you're buying the house and see it, and pull all the permits on that house. Any permit that was pulled on that house, that if they had any work done. And if you see there was work done on the house and there was no permits, that means they did it themselves. It wasn't done by a licensed professional. So, that's what we do here. Either I do it or the attorneys do it for our buyers. We'll go pull the permits and see what's going on. And if there's no permits there and like there's work done, yeah, I wouldn't be buying it. Can you suggest a lawyer for me in Dutchess County, New York? I don't want a buyer agent. I don't know anybody up in Dutchess County. I could. Joyce, do me a favor. Can you just, under the link where it says ask Jackie a question? Oh, I hope I remember to copy that in the description. There's a thing, ask Jackie a question, just to remind me. I have a counterpart that sells in New York State. Maybe they know somebody that could help you. No free lunches. No. How do you objectively determine what improvements to do to your home that you're absolutely in love with? So, Jivan, did you see the video I did? Was it 2 weeks ago about the upgrades that you shouldn't do? You want to go back and watch it. It talks about the upgrades that don't increase your home's value, your return on investment. But if there's something that you absolutely love, if you want to put in a nice paver patio, even though the return on it is not that great, if that's what you love, put it in there. Put it in, because you're going to be living there and you want to enjoy it. You want to enjoy the house. So, and how do you determine that? You just go with what you love and what's going to look good. So when a homeowner has work done by a contractor from a big box store, do they have to get permits to do work or not? Yeah, they do. Because the big box stores, they sub out those contractors, and the contractors have to get the permits. Absolutely. Great episode. Must watch that one about improvements. Thank you. Thank you. That one's, yeah, that's one of my favorite videos I just did. I always love talking about that stuff because people are like, what do I do? What kind of improvements do I do? What kind of upgrades am I going to do? And it was all there. There's 10 of them. And I'm actually going to do a follow-up video to that of 10 upgrades that will improve your home's value. So stay tuned. I'm going to do that one probably in the next month or so. Um, what do you got, MH? Years ago, flagstone was so cheap in Colorado. I did a flagstone patio. If new owner doesn't like it, they can pull it. Yeah. But if that's what you liked, that's fine. But I'll tell you, don't make any major improvements if you're going to be putting your home on the market. Because I get this so much from sellers. As recently as just like a month ago, I just signed a new listing. It's going on the market next year in January, and they were concerned about their kitchen. I'm like, why? You don't need to do anything because somebody's going to come in and rip it out and put whatever they want into it. Don't do that. Winsome Johnson, how are you? Purchasing a home and the sellers are unearthing the oil tank. Keep my fingers crossed all goes well. I will keep my fingers crossed for you that everything is cool. The soil's not contaminated. Don't bury the lead. I like that. Love the channel. What software do you edit your videos with? I have an editor. I don't edit. Sorry. I have an editor. She's been working for me for the last 5 years. But thank you. Thank you for that. All right. Did we get everybody? All right. So Joyce, you need an attorney in Dutchess. Anybody else? What does MH say? I viewed some houses online that I lived in 50, 60 years ago. They did some really nice things. Isn't it funny when you go back and you look at the homes, where you used to live? My kids just recently said they want to go back to the house we sold in New York, just to they want to see what they did to it. I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're going to allow us back into their house because they might think that's weird. But I'm curious too. Thank you, Jen, for the reminder. Where's the poll? I really don't like YouTube sometimes. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So the poll, we have 156 votes. What would be a reason to back out of a home purchase? 78% of you said inspection issues. 6% said financing. 10% buyer's remorse. 7% low appraisal. Inspection issues for the win. Yes. Let's go till 9:30 tonight. Yeah, no. I'm tired. It's Monday. What about smaller budget upgrades? Stuff under 1. You can do whatever upgrades you want. Any improvements, like even smaller ones, don't make a nice little dent. This stupid point. Thank you, Skyfall. I know. Listen, I don't care. My friends watch me and they're just like, oh my God, like you're just like yourself. I'm like, yeah, I am. Why? This is who I am. What you see is what you get. All right. So 78% of you said inspection issues. So brings me back to the thing I say all the time. Never waive your inspections. When you're buying a house, never, ever, ever waive your inspections. Please do not. So that's why. You see? If you waived your inspection, you wouldn't be able to back out of the deal. But that's not happening anymore. Or not. Although I have heard some people, they're still doing it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. I'm just going to, I think I'm going to have a t-shirt made saying, don't waive it. Don't waive the inspection. Tuesday's looking gorgeous over here in Korea. We'll try to send it your way. Please do, Jivan. I mean, the weather, we're getting good fall weather now. It was beautiful today. We're gonna get some rain here in Jersey tomorrow. And then there's that Hurricane Melissa. Are you guys, is anybody following that Hurricane Melissa? It's like it hitting Jamaica. Oh my God, it's scary. I feel so bad for those people in Jamaica. It's gonna get decimated. Thank you for tonight. I learned so much. Chris, come back next week and come back on Wednesday when I post my regular video. And I hope to teach you more. My son and his wife are moving into my home next year. I can't wait to come back and see what they've done to it. Oh, how cool is that? That's fun. It's raining in Atlanta. That's a bummer. Is it still warm down there, Clark? I would imagine it would be. MH is having frost tonight. We had frost last night. We were down to like 33 degrees. So, well, you guys all enjoy the weather. What are we at now? Oh my God, I've been here for an hour. All right, you guys. So before I forget, you know the deal. If you need a real estate agent in your market, you know I'm happy to help you. It's a free service for you. Yes, I do get a referral fee from the agent if the deal closes. But if you need a referral for an agent, please click on this link. You hit that button. It's going to take your information. Then it's going to email you a questionnaire. Please fill out that questionnaire. Give me as much information as possible about what you're looking for, where you're looking. You'll see the questions. Just please answer them all because not everybody's answering them all. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just people can't be bothered. I don't know. I know questionnaires can be annoying, but I need that information in order for me to vet an agent for you. All right. What else we got? Cold and dreary in Georgia, a little chilly. Amanda's Palm Springs. What? Of course it's perfect, Big G, because you're in California. Nice. Cool breeze in Florida. Amanda Laurie has a quick question, Jen. Can you? Okay. Aren't you worried that a rate of 5% will get a lot of people who have been on the sidelines back into the game, causing the seller's market again? Excellent question. Yes, I think it'll create a buyer frenzy, but I will tell you from what I've seen so far. So every time we see the rates, we've seen them drop here in Jersey the past couple of months. Yes, we're seeing bidding wars, not as many, and they're not going as much over asking price. So yeah, there is that potential. But the thing is, if they're in fives, they get into the fives, now sellers are going to say, you know what, I need to sell. I feel more comfortable selling, and it'll bring in more inventory. All right. Laura, here's a laugh. I never saw my new home before purchase. We got here and it was empty fireplace. It's freezing. I don't get it fixed till the 3rd. Oh, Laura, get that fixed. Get that fixed. All right. All right. I think we're good, guys. All right. Just to make sure I'm not missing everybody. You're so welcome, you guys. Thank you for being here on another Monday night. Happy Halloween. Got Halloween on Friday. Go out and get your Halloween candy. I'm not, because I don't get trick-or-treaters anymore. But tune in next Monday. I'll be back. We'll have a lot more to talk about with this awesome housing market. All right. I hope everybody has a great week. Take care.